It wasn't really until I actually became pastor that I started to really try to be in tune with the needs of the community and how can the church be an asset, be a blessing, be a light, and be salt to the community. That's what really pushed me out to encourage the congregation to connect with the community. And out of that, we started things like anti-drug marches, mentoring programs for boys as well as girls. We did a mentoring program called Boys to Men. I love that particular program. Still do that today on a personal note, as well as within the church. We had another organization for young ladies called Young Ladies on the Move. But those things kind of really kept us continuously reaching out. Every now and then we would do community cleanups, or we would do something just to let the community know, hey, we're here to serve you, and we want to do whatever it takes to make living together as citizens a harmonious experience. And so there have been times where we've literally knocked on doors from house to house within the area of the community, just simply asking them, based on your perspective, what are you seeing? What do you think are the needs of the community? And how can the church best serve you? Now, let's not make a mistake. We're not trying to simply do what everybody wants us to do, but oftentimes perceived needs are that. They are perceived, and we take those perceived needs and filter them through the mission of the church, which never changes. And the mission of the church is to connect people to Jesus and to bring him glory. So we never lose sight of the fact that we're here to make that connection with people and the God who gives them life. When I accepted being a part of the Equity Advisory Committee, it was simply my hope, and this may not have been the shared desire or aim of everyone, but I believe it was the gist, really just to help bridge some gaps, fill in some places where things were lacking or where there was needs that may have been overlooked or that we just didn't want to deal with and yet needed to be dealt with. I love that the fact that we weren't really required to do the work of changing things, but to really connect the people, the community, the issues of the community with the powers that be, and then provide them with suggestions and ideas of how they can implement services or change that actually makes a better city and a better community to live in. We would definitely have to say that, and I say that on the basis of the advisory committee was only established for a certain season, I think 16 to 18 months. And so when that role came to an end, all of the members needed to take a pause and to reflect on what had been done, and then where did they go from here? Well, obviously the term had ended, but one of the things I took away from that experience was that even though the term was ending, I got the sense that every person that was on that committee had a heart that they were going to do something to continue serving in that aim to make a better Chestertown, to make a better community. And I guess that's why I'm probably still doing some of the things that I do as well as others are doing. The CDC is a organization that's new. It's a entity that desires to help develop, partner, collaborate, to help fill in gaps where, again, services, help and support that the community needs. And their main objective is they want to see everybody at least have an opportunity to take advantage of whatever may be available to them, that they have the right and the privilege to take advantage of. And so when I look at the objective of things like aiding people in preparing for what it takes to become a homeowner, and that process. If you've never done that before, that's a daunting task to do. So having someone to walk you through that, to sort of hold your hand, is a huge asset, again, to someone that's never done it. Helping someone write a business plan, helping someone start a small business. I really see these as things that, when they are done and implemented, they actually help improve the overall good of the community. So the Upper Shore Advisory Committee is really, or rather the Upper Shore partners, really their aim is to collaborate with others in what they do. For instance, with regard to you have an organization that helps to aid people in placing them in homes, whether they're building the home or whether or not someone is helping them to get into a home. Their job, or our goal, is not to take over what they do, but to simply assist and perhaps even share insight to where they can aid that process of helping, because I believe that there's a pretty long waiting list for the agency and the group that's actually helping or assisting people in home ownership. Obviously, there's a big need here in Kent County, and so helping anybody in that process is going to be a benefit. It's more of, where can we best facilitate, aid, support, where there is either gaps, where there are missing components. Maybe it's data information, maybe it's connecting people that need assistance in areas and they're not aware that various services are available. You take, and that's why at this point, thankfully, we have people like the local management board, Washington College, Monterey's Dream Alliance, coming alongside to see the benefit, recognize the benefit, and are willing to work along with us in accomplishing some of these goals for the good of the community. Now, this agency or group is not really pushing for an objective to cover the county or other counties. It really has its heart in Chestertown. Does it have a goal to reach outside of Chestertown once it develops traction and what have you? Sure, because if you have the ability to spread your information and to spread your care and concern and love for your neighbor, then that's a great thing. When you think about that whole inequity piece, when I think about inequity, if we look up the word equity or inequity, it talks about a lack of fairness and a lack of justice. Okay. Who wouldn't, in their heart of hearts, not want to be treated fair and have justice dealt toward them, especially if we've experienced injustice? Amazingly, often when we are not the ones experiencing injustice, we may forget. But the reality is that all of us should desire to see that not only our family, not only our loved ones and neighbors, but that everyone should be treated fairly. My goal personally, and I do have a personal stake in this, is I don't like to see everything painted with a broad brush so that every incident is considered a racial incident. It is not. Are there racial inequities? Yes. Is there racism? Yes. will we solve all the racism issues in our lifetime? I hate to burst anybody's bubble. We're not going to solve all of them. So if we're not going to solve all of the racial issues, and if there is racism, what do? I'm glad you asked. The reality is that we need to continue to pursue this goal because it's a worthwhile goal. But I do believe that ultimately it's going to take God to settle all accounts. There will be issues that people will treat people in a manner that is not befitting as one human to another human. By the way, we got racism as a social construct anyhow, that we were taught this because it's not something that is inherent in us. It's something that we learn, in which they're doing some tremendous things with the funds that they've received to improve Chestertown. But the funds are not just limited to infrastructure and things of that nature. They also are for COVID relief. And there are a lot of people that have been hit as a result of COVID that's been life-changing. And they've struggled somewhat with how to manage and how to keep things afloat. And so it's really my hope that those objectives and that goal would be revisited and saw in a different light, because if you step back and consider it, what the town is doing with the task force, which is an excellent job that they're doing, I see only a win-win situation with the Upper Shore as partnering with them. I do know this: Upper Shore is not just looking to find grant money to be given to them just to go willy-nilly and do little or nothing with it. But the objective is to take those funds and to be able to put into place things based on what they've learned from the community are the most pressing needs, and to be able to aid individuals in that.